Well, good morning. Mr. President, I wonder if everyone could just take their seats now, please, because I'm really delighted to welcome you all here today for what I hope to be the start of a very important conversation. Mr. President, Excellencies, distinguished partners and participants, Commonwealth friends. It's an immense pleasure to welcome you all to Marlborough House and the headquarters of the Commonwealth. We are delighted to be hosting this important gathering ahead of tomorrow's summit and to be doing so in association with an impressive array of partners from business, civil society and government, including Transparency International UK, Thomson Reuters and the Network One and the B Team and the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council. And I'm especially pleased to warmly welcome President Buhari here this morning, who I must commend for his brave leadership in tackling corruption head-on and the commitments to reform Nigeria's legal system. And I very much want to welcome you. We at the Commonwealth look forward to partnering with His Excellency in that endeavour. The fight is going to take all of us to tackle corruption in all its forms. And this isn't just about money, bribes and backhanders. It is a much wider and more important issue. It's about the corruption that sees women have to trade sexual favours for access to goods and services. It's the corruption that sees children abused so they can stay in the classroom. It's the corruption that blights so many lives in so many different ways. And for too long, corruption has been seen just as a white-collar crime, victimless, conducted as part of doing business with no discussion of the real-world impact. And today, we hope to start a change of that perception. I am the 6th Secretary-General of the Commonwealth, and I am in only my 6th week as Secretary-General. And I can think of few more important topics upon which to focus early in my term than tackling corruption together. Together because that is how we do things here in the Commonwealth. Together because the complexity of our world today is such that whether we like it or not, the new globalized reality generated by the international business, social ties, and technology means that we have become increasingly interconnected and interdependent. And together, because those who seek to undermine the sovereignty of our democratic and independent countries have also joined in an interconnected common enterprise. They operate in all our countries, across borders and disciplines. They take advantage of the protection we put in place in our countries in order to cloak their nefarious practices and their enterprises, undermining the rule of law, corroding all of our collective systems. So criminal conspiracies undermine the values and principles we in the Commonwealth seek to uphold. And democracy, development, good governance, and the rule of law. In the Commonwealth, we derive strength from our shared heritage of the common law, common language, and similar systems of governance. And these characteristics give a very important asset to all of us. We call it the Commonwealth advantage. And a recent detailed study shows that there is a 19% advantage in trade between our members. Fraud and corruption potentially destroys that Commonwealth advantage and the benefits of having the similar institutions. And I'm absolutely determined that we should use our innate sense of kinship and affinity and the common law to leverage real change. The Commonwealth has long recognised the importance of strengthening democratic oversight of public financial management standards. And as many of you will know, we crafted a number of effective tools in the past to take that fight to the corrupt. And I was one of the architects of the United Kingdom's Bribery Act. And now it's seen as, by many, as the gold standard that goes further than the US Foreign Corrupt Practices Act in tackling the culture and essential causes of corruption. So collaboration and cooperation between different nation states will be critical if we are to successfully meet the challenge of bribery and corruption creates for all of us. We need mechanisms to facilitate that cooperation and collaboration. And one of our contributions will be to create a Commonwealth Office of Civil and Criminal Justice Reform so that we can work more closely together. This office will assist in crafting templates for legislation and best practice implementation to strengthen public safety and provide real change. It will also offer legal support services and develop working models for greater interoperability and transparency. If we are to have a common standard and common approaches to tackling corruption, we need a means of identifying which bodies, institutions, and entities are adhering to that best practice. And Commonwealth promote and distinguish organisations that share our aspirations of tackling corruption. We therefore plan to develop a validation system so that we can have Commonwealth and perhaps one day truly international standards for compliance with good procurement practice. If widely adopted, such standards will help strengthen oversight of finances for businesses, institutions, the public sector, local government, and the private sector too. Best practice toolkits can empower governments to be on the front foot against corruption and fraud in their jurisdictions. Many have said, we want to do this, but how do we do it? What are the tools that are at our disposal? How can we craft something that really works? So if we are to deliver on the Sustainable Development Goal 16 on peace, justice, and strong institutions, we need to be a coalition of the just, countering fraud, bribery, and corruption at every level. The Commonwealth represents about 2.2 billion people. We have 53 countries from 5 regions: Africa, Asia, Caribbean, the Pacific, and Europe. We are a spectrum which represents the whole world. So if we together can craft something that works, we've got a pathway, hopefully, for others to follow. And corruption and fraud undermines our values and literally destroys lives. We're delighted, therefore, to join with so many allies as we set out with fresh resolve on a new stage in this campaign to combat corrupt practices. And this conference and tomorrow's summit are outward and visible signs of that fresh determination, renewed vigour, and practical commitment to eliminating fraud, bribery, and corruption. And we will not let corruption undermine development and compromise fairness and equal opportunities in our societies. We have a choice. We can either continue working separately in our silos, or we can decide that we're joining together to make the difference that all of our citizens want to see. So we can swim together or drown separately. I, for one, am for swimming, and I hope everyone here will swim too. So let's start. I would like to hand over to Matt Hancock, who is the Minister for the Cabinet Office